Hi guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to a game of Fangs and Throats. Now today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to have gone through my bookshelves, which have changed again. But I will be have gone through my bookshelves and I've picked out some of the books that I think are going to be a five-star read. So the first one is the book I'm currently reading, and that is The Luminaries by Elna Catton, and this won the Man Booker Prize in 2013, and as you can see I am not very far through this book, but this is a story of Walter Moody. It's historical fiction, and it's set in the New Zealand goldfields. On the night, and I guess I haven't got very far in, so I'll just read off the back. So on the night that he arrives, stumbles across a tense gathering of 12 local men who've met in secret to discuss a series of unsolved crimes. Rich man's vanished, whores tried to commit suicide, and an enormous fortune has been found in a drunk's home. So obviously Moody is soon drawn into all of that, and I'm just at the point where we are meeting all of the 12 men. We've been introduced with Moody, and for it being a historical fiction, which I do have a bit of a love-hate relationship with, I am expecting good things from this, and I am interested to see what's going to happen next, which is always a good thing in a book. So we'll put that one there. We have a few books that are probably five-star predictions because of the hype surrounding them. So the first one is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. With this one, Mia Colvey is only 10 years old when she sees her parents and her family die, and then she makes a promise to avenge everyone she's lost, and she ends up training to be an assassin in the Red Church. Now I've heard that this is quite graphic. It is definitely adult, but it is very beloved on the booktubes and bookstagram as well, and I do like the covers. If nothing else, I do like them. Yes, I do have the full series and I haven't read them yet. That's another video. But yeah, we have that one. We have another booktube darling at the moment, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And side note, I'm also putting The Near Witch and A Darker Shade of Magic on this list as well, just because I know V. Schwab is she's a very beautiful writer. She has a way with words, and her stories they leap off the page. Now with Addie, obviously it's the booktube darling at the moment, but Addie is 17. She's 17-year-old, I believe, at the beginning of the book, and she makes a desperate deal in the dark. She makes the deal to live forever, but the catch with this one is she is forgotten. So it sounds like it's a bit of a picture of Dorian Gray type deal. If you didn't know, Dorian Gray promised his soul to the devil in order to live forever young and beautiful. The catch was he couldn't look at the painting. The painting is his soul. It ages and deforms with every horrible thing that Dorian does, so that's that. So I'm interested to see the take on this one, where the catch is that Addie is forgotten. If you remember her while you're talking to her, but as soon as you look away or stop talking, she's forgotten. And then one morning she meets Henry, who remembers her. And I have heard mixed things about this, but I do like a little bit of I am hoping to be one of the many that like it. Most of these books are actually hyped. Then we have The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and I know Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts likes this, rates this one highly. Where's the back? Where's the book? There's no blurb on this one. But yeah, with this one, I don't really know much about it other than dragons. And any book that has dragons, I do expect to like. And I'm sorry if you can hear building noise. The neighbours are getting a roof done. But yeah, with this one, I believe it follows a queendom, and and there's a female-female romance, which I am trying to get more into. So yeah, I couldn't tell you what it's about, but I am hoping that I'll be one of the men here again. But come on, dragons. Then we have The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. With this one, we follow Neri, who is a bit of a con woman and an amateur magician. She believes her tricks are more just sleight of hand until she unintentionally summons a djinn and ends up getting involved in that. And I think this one is multi-POV, and it is very politically inspired rather than just your general the magic system in the world is very fleshed out. Then we have The Deathless Girls by Karen Millwood Hargrave. Now, I do know that this is a sort of unofficial prequel to Dracula, and Dracula is one of the only classics I have read. Anything to do with a vampire, I'm up for it to give it a try. But with this one, basically, we follow the story of 17-year-old Lil and her twin Kizzy, and they are captured by the Boyar Valkar, and I believe Boyar is like the Duke. He's it's an aristocratic term, and then they end up getting involved with Dracula, or the man who would become Dracula. So this is quite an interesting book, and reading the back, it does have ties with Naomi Novik's book Spinning Silver. Mythical dragon, more monster, the man who accepts girls as gifts. And I know in Uprooted, that is the premise as well. So be interesting to see if that's a common Eastern European Russian folklore trend. Even though I think Dracula was more Transylvanian, so not quite Russian. But yep, be interesting to see this one. And this edition is absolutely gorgeous. It's very autumnal, and it has beautiful sprayed edges there. Then we have an author that if I love the books, I love the books. If I don't like the books, I don't like them. But that is Philippa Gregory's Order of Darkness. Now, I have had mixed bag with her other work, but I always go into it hoping to learn something, because the other books I have from her are primarily historical fiction. I've read some of the Tudor books, so I've always loved the other Bowling Girl. So I have high hopes with this one, and I believe this one is set in 1460, and it's close to the apocalypse. All signs point to that. So we follow Luca Vero, who is accused of heresy and expelled from the monastery where he was being kept. Mysterious stranger asks him to keep a record of what's happening. The mission takes him to a nunnery where he meets these women who are being kept hostage because they seem to show signs of possession. So we follow Luca, his friend Ferez, Isolde, who is one of these. They must rescue this woman and her companion Ishrak, and we go all across Europe, uncovering the secrets of a mysterious order of darkness. And this is the bind up of the first 3 volumes. So we have Changeling, Stormbringers and Fool's Gold, and it does say it's a series on the back, but I've only ever seen those 3, so I don't know if it's a trilogy or not. But I do like a book that has a historical background. You know, it's based in legends, and it has that whole, well, is this really real or is it just superstition and nonsense? And we have a sci-fi book by Christopher Paolini, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. Now this one I am expecting good things from him as well, because I did read the Eragon series and absolutely adored it. Inheritance, still enjoyed it, but it took a while to get through. So I am hoping for good things with this one, and it is a chunky monkey. What is it with me? What is it with big books at the moment? But basically we follow Kira Navarez. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. Who is a space explorer. She's been sent on a mission to an uncolonized planet. She's just doing a routine survey. She finds evidence of a past life of alien civilization. She finds this alien relic, but then things go a little bit wrong when the ancient dust on the planet seems to move. So that obviously starts a war spanning across the galaxies, and while Kira's facing her own issues and problems and whatnot, Earth and the colonies stand upon the brink of annihilation. So that sounds quite interesting, and obviously Christopher Paolini had to pick it up. Then we have a book that everybody is going to at me because I still haven't read it yet, and that is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. Now this is the latest installment in her Shadowhunters world. It follows the same characters from the Infernal Devices series, which was Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess. So that is Will, Jem and Tessa. And in this one, obviously, we follow their kids. I love how all of the family trees and the worlds and everything just mesh together in that series. It's so cool, and when you reread certain series as well, you see the connections. I have a reading vlog, an attempt of a reading vlog to reread the Infernal Devices trilogy if you want to see what I think about the whole world and things in there. But with this one, we follow Cordelia Carstairs, who obviously Shadowhunter child. She knows about demons and whatnot. She travels to London and ends up meeting up with James and Lucy Herondale, so Will's kids, and is caught up in the London society. Must hide her secret love for James, who's obviously going to have to marry someone else. And then we have more demon attacks as per usual, and there is a dark legacy going on that has gifted them with incredible powers. So I'm guessing this is probably going to deal with the aftermath of what happens in Infernal Devices with Tessa's power and how that affects her kids. So we'll keep an eye out for that one, and I love Cassandra Clare's writing anyway. Then we have 2 books that I have literally just gotten today, and they got delivered today, I should say. And the first one is Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is the first in the Kingkiller series, and I have a while to read it before the 3rd book comes out, if it eventually does. And I know from this one it is it has a university, so I'm all for that. And I know that Regan from Peruse Project and G from Book Roast really enjoy this one as well, so I'll be excited. And it is fantasy. There's a university, we learn magic, and it is told in two perspectives. We have Corvée in the present, recounting the tale, and then we have Corvée in the tale as well. So yeah. And then we have A Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I haven't read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but I did see the BBC adaptation and really enjoyed the world and whatnot of that. But with this one, we follow Piranesi, who is it's not really explained what he is, but he lives in the house, and day after day in his notebooks he makes clear and careful record of what happens in this house. You know, it's got so many holes, it's a bit of a maze. Tuesdays and Friday he sees this other person figure in the house, which is literally called The Other. But then it seems like something else comes into the house and disrupts that. So sounds weird, wonderful and strange, and I'm here for that. So they are just a few of my 5-star predictions that I have to hand. Obviously there'll probably be some that I wouldn't necessarily think are 5-star looking at them, but then obviously they may become a 5-star when I'm reading it, or these may not turn out to be 5 stars, but such is life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back, finish reading The Luminaries, and then I'll make another decent dent in it, I think, and then I'll chat to you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.